We are back with the skid steer that's kind of running but has a fuel problem. And what I've found out was I took a scoop, put it in the diesel tank. There's a good bit of diesel, which leaves me to come over here, and I pulled this, which I believe comes off of the tank back there. I believe that's what that is, but I could be incorrect. And it empties out and then will not fill up. So I'm kind of wondering if our issue is just not getting filled from the tank. Now my concern is this sits up higher than the tank. So there's got to be some kind of like pump to bring it out of the tank and up this way. Unless something here does the pumping. Now the line comes up here, it's rubber, and it tucks into this back connection, and that's where I fail to get anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and play around with this. I have a brake bleeder vacuum pump that I'm gonna put on this and see if I can work some magic. So I just got off the phone with my buddy Bo, and the seller had said that this is bad, and we know that it doesn't seem to prime. Like I can put my finger here, push, and it doesn't seem to build pressure either direction. So the thought is, if it needs to create a vacuum from the pump through this to pull fuel up because the tank is lower, if this is bad, all it's probably doing is pulling air in this and not pulling across. So one, I can order a new one, but my thought is maybe I can open this and just seal it and see if I can pull a vacuum that way, because if it's cracked up in this or a membrane or something, I might be able to bypass it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that off and just kind of see what I'm looking at in there. Oh yeah, so this whole piece that goes around, I have an opinion that it probably should be attached to this, because that's what makes the vacuum as you push in, and it's not attached at all. So probably that membrane is what is bad here. Trying to look. So this looks fairly simple. I wonder though if I can just put my hand over this and feel it try to pull a vacuum. So I'm going to probably try to give that a shot and just see if I notice a difference. So even though I'm pretty sure this is our issue, Bo recommended that I take an air hose with low PSI, and this is what filters back to, I believe, the bottom of the water separator, pushes through the water separator and comes out here. So I don't have a good vacuum other than the little brake bleeder right there, which doesn't really do a whole lot. So his idea was low pressure air on this, and I'm probably gonna have to seal it with my hands, so hold on. And if you guys can hear that, I hear diesel bubbling, which tells me that we are definitely getting vacuum or able to blow back through the system. So just another like sanity check about what's going on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on now. I'm curious to see if I can find something to replace this. So let's see. So what I got was just a piece of plastic from a, it was an electric fuel pump container, like the little plastic they come in. I just cut out a piece that fits this. I'm gonna poke holes where each screw goes, and I'm gonna screw that in. I mean, it's likely not going to work, but why not try it? I went ahead and cut the 5 holes, put it through, and then put the rubber gasket down here. Just hoping maybe that will fill any of the inconsistencies. Excuse me. Just hoping that that rubber gasket will fill any of the inconsistencies that may be on the face of this. But I'm going to go ahead and screw that down and see if we get anywhere. This looks extremely janky, but if it works, I'm not going to knock it. And I will be replacing this. I understand the importance of a manual primer. This probably will not get much, if any, volume if I tried to manually prime with this. Also, I understand this will probably not hold up to diesel for an eternity. But what I am going to do is now fill this up and then see if I can get this to run like we did in the last video, and just watch this and see if we get any diesel pulled up out of the tank, which comes up there and should go into here. Everything's been reattached. We now have this full. My little 6-gallon ran out. I only had about a half gallon to start with, so I siphoned this out of the tank, and I took off the bleeder valve. First thing we have to do is, even though you don't start it with the normal key, apparently this key up here still controls the 12 volt to the pump. Yep, there you go. Those bubbles at first, and now we got a pretty good fuel stream coming out. So we'll go ahead and put that back in. And now, as we start this, the key thing that we are watching for is if anything comes into this. So, let's see what happens. So, still doing that thing where it's trying to roll forward, which I'm not too happy about. Let's go ahead and push both of them back, because maybe it was the other side. But, there's definitely some diesel on the bottom of that, which we were never seeing before. It's pulling in diesel. We're just gonna let this idle for a bit now because it shouldn't die on us. Now my concern is the alternator light split up. I do see the alternator spinning, so maybe it's not working well. Maybe that's bad, I don't know. It's been sitting for quite a while, and oh, that was really cool, like circle. And we have to keep in mind that I also put a bunch of stuff trying to get it to start, and it just died. And now what we're going to do is pull this off, and it still should be pretty much full. It's not, it's pretty low, so we may still have a problem, but this filled up. So I'm willing to bet that if we siphon and do it again, it was busy filling this one up back here. It probably let this run dry. So let's go ahead and we'll siphon this out again and get it started. And what we're hoping for is that after doing this another time or two, this is full. And at that point, we're going to pull this test wire off, put the really beautiful switch that's up front back in. But I think we're really getting somewhere with my little redneck fix here that really did a number. So, okay, siphoned again, we're full. This time I'm going to try to give you a good view of us bleeding this, because I'm not sure if I got it last time. Yep, there we go. And my shirt is now soaked in diesel, but I'm going to put that back on and we'll try to start. And we're trying to go. More white smoke. Now what we're going to try to hope is that if we let this go for a bit, it's going to keep running. We'll see. It stopped running on its own. Let's pull this off and see if this is still full of fuel. If it is, I'm going to go ahead and put this back on because I have to get this off to be able to access it. So it's still a little low. It's still like down here. Not really sure why that would be occurring. One other thing to note the alternator light stays on all the time. It was reading 14.5 volts. The oil pressure light turns off when it starts running. So we have at this point gone back to the original starter piece, which is that lovely little button there. Also, I put the air intake hose back on. So really, all that's left to do is try to drive this. Now, there's some stuff that was in here from the previous people. I'm going to clean it up, and I'm going to try not to raise the arm if I can help it. But hopefully we can take it for a quick spin or something just right here. So for anybody who's not been in a skid steer, these are your arms down here. I think this side's lift lower the arms, and then this should be the tilt function of the bucket. This is your right side forward and back. This is your left side forward and back. And then this also has what I believe to be the auxiliary controls here. I'm gonna have to mess with it and see, but let's see what happens. Okay, you guys probably aren't gonna get the best view, but we're gonna try it. And that's where my fuel runs out. I should have took out the parking brake. Honestly though, I'm not mad about that. Worked pretty good. So the thing I'm checking for now is, when we drove here, there's no major hydraulic leaks. You got diesel all over the tire, diesel all over the place there. But, I mean, it moved. Now the question is, what stopped us? These wheels look like they might be trying to roll, so hold on. Stay. When researching online, I saw something about this primer bulb has to retract all the way back in order for it to properly vacuum. Not 100% sure, but I'm thinking that when we replace this, we may get rid of that intermittent stopping issue, because it probably can pull more fuel into it. But all in all, really solid video. I'm really happy with it. I got this thing, you know, I showed up expecting to charge up the battery, give it some ether and start it, and it didn't happen. They used a telehandler to put it on this, and then go watch the YouTube short about how we got it off this, because it involved chains to that trailer and that dump truck, and that was the whole situation. But I think that's where I'm gonna call this video. We have it running to the extent that we're now pulling fuel out of the gas tank. I'm gonna order that part, we'll replace that part, and we'll do a cleanup video at some point in the near future. So as always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate the support. I absolutely love doing stuff like this. Like this is my hobby, this is my passion. I got off work and spent 4.5, 5 hours today just going ham on this thing because I enjoy it that much. That being said, thank you. And until next time. It wants to be a butt head, so it can stay there tonight. I'll just put chocks on the wheels. Peace.